It's here. So you have a Honda Delsol or a Civic and you want to get an exhaust, but you don't have a whole lot of cash. Maybe you're a teenager, maybe you're in college. Who knows what the deal is. Go on eBay and you type in cheapest exhaust for Honda Delsol, and this is what comes up. If you don't believe me, this thing was like $120 or so. Super cheap. I'll go ahead and throw the screenshot in here now of me going ahead and putting it to the cart and ordering it. It took 3 days to get here. I am 100% expecting this not to fit and to be a complete pain in the ass to install and quite possibly sound like ass, but it may sound really good. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this thing on the Honda Delsol and make it an official rice burner Civic. So let's get this thing unboxed and get to it. Ooh, the Z. So let's see what $100 gets you from DNA Motoring on eBay.com. Honestly, the welds don't look that bad, but this thing is huge. Oh yeah, even coming with the silencer. Some gaskets. Looks like the mid pipe. All right, so my first impressions of this is it's not too bad. The welds actually look pretty decent. The flanges are straight, the piping's straight. It looks pretty good, and it has a silencer in it that's loose, but I can tighten that up or take this out to make it quite a bit louder if I wanted to. But the one thing I did notice that I'm not very happy about, the reason I bought this one is because it had a resonator on it with the muffler, so I wanted it to be not as raspy. If you look in here, that thing is empty, dude.
Whack.
That's just a fake ass resonator. Like, there's not even no perforation, no fiberglass, no nothing. So that's sweet. So we're gonna put this bad boy on here anyways. Get out of here. Let's go ahead and get this thing out of the way. All right, I got the car jacked up. I'm gonna go ahead and rip this old crappy exhaust off of here. Not gonna film that, no one wants to see it, so we're just gonna rip this thing out of here and dump it in the trash can. I'll come back when we start to put the new one on. Go ahead and get this mid pipe and get that thrown underneath there. All right, well, I didn't get very far and I ran into my first issue. So this flange, I guess they didn't drill it out quite enough. It doesn't fit on there, it's just barely. All right, I clearanced out that hole a little bit. Let's see if it fits now. It's better. All right, well, that took about an hour, but all the bolts were rusted, so I had to heat them up red hot before I tightened them down. So they're never gonna come off again. And I also had to drill out that top hole. So that's one of the small little things that you just have to sacrifice whenever you pay $100 for an exhaust off of eBay, but we got it on there, so guess we'll keep moving on. Well, as you can tell, quite a bit of time has gone by, and I still don't have this exhaust on here. There's beetles everywhere. I'm covered in bugs, I'm dirty. This is a 3-piece exhaust that should have only taken about 5 minutes to put on, and about 3 hours later I'm here with the beetles. Here's the game plan. I got that front flange put on. It took forever. You get to this one and it's too short, so already I'm gonna have to go and get this fabricated. So I'm out about 50 bucks there, or my time, so I'm just gonna go to the shop and weld that. Actually, it's not that big of a deal, but to the regular consumer, they're not going to want to get their exhaust halfway on, realize they have to cut the flanges off, and then go to a muffler shop and get it extended. You have to take the heat shield out, which is this one, and you got this flange here that goes to this bushing. But see that mark up there? It's hitting at the very top pretty hard. Everything in the back bolted up fine. It actually looks really cool. But really that's it. So it's hitting up top, and it's hitting at this flange down here, and you're gonna have to drill out the flange coming off of your test pipe or your cat. So I guess moral of the story is, unless you really love curling around in the dirt when it's hot with bugs and not being able to put on an exhaust that should take 15 minutes and it take 3 hours, then yeah, this is a great deal. So obviously I'm less than stoked, but at the same time, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. That's why I bought it. The only reason I bought it was for you guys, so that you guys would know. The whole story or whole theme of this build is, can you build a quality vehicle for less than name brand money? So I'm trying to stick with that. I'm trying to spend the least amount of money as I can to get the nicest vehicle that I can. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And in this case, we lost. And in my case, I have the availability to make this exhaust work. It's not going to be that big of a deal. The reason I didn't do it at the shop originally is because I wanted to do this how most people would be able to, how most people would be doing this exhaust, which is in their driveway with limited tools. And that's what I did. So unless you have a full-on mechanic shop and you want to deal on some exhaust, because the piping and the material is worth every bit of 150 bucks. It's just doesn't fit that great. So, all right, well, it's the next day. I got the exhaust installed and good to go. We're about to give it a start and see how it sounds. Let me show you what I had to do to make this work. So the first thing I had to do was replace that hanger right here and put a longer one in, quite a bit longer actually. I don't know where the old one went. Here it is. Here's the old one, there's the new one. It's about twice as long. And that was to keep it from hitting up here. And it's still really close, but it shouldn't hit at all while driving. Here is the main fix. If you're gonna get the DNA exhaust, it's not that bad. This extension is the kicker to making everything else pretty much line up. The exhaust itself, the flanges are about 4 inches too short for some reason or another. And I did go and confirm, yes, this is for the Delsol. It says on the box, and it says on the order itself on eBay that it is for a 1993 through 1997 Honda Delsol with the D series engine, and that's what this is. So I basically cut the flanges off, got this longer piece, clamped it on. I'm gonna weld it on next weekend or later this weekend probably. I just didn't want to go up to the shop, so I just clamped it on for now, so that'll do. I would say it's worth the money if you want to spend the time on it. So I'm not 100% confident in how this thing is going to sound. Keep in mind, it was $100, $120 or so. So it is a classic Honda fart can on a D-Series engine, so I'm expecting it to sound a little bit ricey. But hey, that comes with it, and I did expect to put a resonator on it. I have one coming in the mail actually already. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up and see what it sounds like. And if it needs a resonator, then we'll throw one on there. No big deal.
I know that sounds bad.
That sounds terrible. So as expected, it sounds pretty much terrible. So I'm definitely going to be throwing a muffler on there. This thing sounds like straight rice.
Uncle Ben's rice.
So I have a bit of surprise for you guys. We're going to go and pick up the parts for that and go over to Jay's Fine Line Rigs and get it installed. And then tomorrow we're going to go to a muffler shop, see what we can do about getting this thing toned down, because it is just ridiculously annoying and loud. Okay, so I broke the rule on budget Honda parts. I got carbon fiber fenders.
Carbon fiber, carbon fiber, carbon fiber.
So I actually found these from a friend who has a Delsol. You guys will see him on the channel soon. Anyways, I was able to sell my drag radials in order to get these, because this is questionably out of my budget unless I trade something. So that's what I did. That's how I acquired these, but we're gonna put them on the budget Civic.
Nice.
The next day.
So I ended up getting 2 high flow cats. I have one, an upstream and a downstream. That really toned the sound down quite a bit. It didn't help for performance any, but I had to do something because it was just ridiculously loud. I'll go ahead and add a couple pictures of where they're at, so that way you can see where to put them. I put one kind of under the driver's seat and then one up close to the header where the factory cat used to be. So really all you need would probably just be one cat if you still had your factory cat. But they're just cheap Amazon catalytic converters, nothing special there. At the end of the day, it sounds great now, but it 100% was not worth the mess I had to go through. So I would avoid it. All right, so this thing sounds much, much better now. All I needed was the upstream catalytic converter and the downstream cat, and it really muffled the sound down and made it a lot more manageable. There's a little bit of drone, but it's not terrible. Much better. So I got the fenders on. They look really good. No scratches or anything. They look brand new, but the rest of the paint on the car looks pretty much terrible. So I don't really know exactly what I'm gonna do with that just yet. I kind of want to wrap the car, but I'm not sure. If you guys want to see a specific color, let me know. I was thinking like a grabber blue or maybe a dark purple would contrast good with the carbon fiber. And I also have the exhaust on. That looks good. Sounds much better now. So the build's coming along slowly. The car's really dirty right now, but that's all I've got for today. I'll do a little bit of B-roll and comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know if there's any parts in particular you want me to throw on this thing, because I'll go ahead and do it. But with that, I will see you guys later.